I was around the age of Junior when I first saw Problem Child, and I thought he was so cool. I wasn't adopted, and I didn't run around causing a bunch of trouble for my parents. I was a pretty good kid, but I still looked up to him for his mischief and dirty mouth.
What's so funny?
Who are you, stupid dick?
As well as felt sorry for his circumstances, being an unwanted child and all. Aside from its silliness, John Ritter brings a real family-centered aura to the movie and easily carries the film like the master actor he was, bouncing off of some over-the-top performances with the other characters, namely Big Ben and Flo. Spawning a sequel, which I guess I'll have to look at too. Let's start with the original, the one and only Problem Child.
I played video games in a drunken haze. I was 17 years young.
We open on Junior narrating to us his story of being abandoned, and literally, the very next day, he's abandoned.
All gathered round.
Again.
Side of the ball.
And again. And again, as the sight gags just keep getting better. I mean, you can't help but feel a little bad for him at this point, but 5 minutes in, and this kid's done more damage in people's lives than Chris Hansen.
Can I get you a glass of milk to go along with those cookies?
Sure.
Finally being dumped off in an orphanage, we cut to one of the best parts of the movie. John Ritter, along with his lady, seeking the doctor's help as to why they can't get pregnant.
You don't even have a yellow thing, and your green thing is brown.
Suggesting the couple look into adoption, we cut back to the orphanage where Junior is continuing to be a nuisance in an 80s movie, but a little pervert in today's world. Continuing to narrate the unfortunate circumstances of his life, he causes a ruckus at lunch, making all the children laugh while simultaneously pissing off the head nun who puts him to work. Now, rubbing salt into the wound, another little boy is excited that he's finally being adopted, and he quickly ditches the mop for some television, catching footage of Kramer in his little bow tie.
They had it coming! All 34 of them? You fucking did!
I'm not even gonna make any jokes about it.
Jeez, this guy's pretty popular.
Oh, no, that ain't necessary!
No! Freddy, the kid from earlier, walks out to his new parents as Junior looks on with sadness and dons a bow tie in honor of his new hero. Our next few scenes are spent at Big Ben's sports store, where little Ben is dropped off by a pissed-off wife, where the shocking difference in character is portrayed wonderfully through Ritter's acting when he helps out a small child looking for some camping gear.
Dude, this is Big Ben's. We got canteens 365 days a year. Now, which one of these can I fix you up with?
The father comes over, thanking little Ben for his help, and his love for his son really touches home with him before his father, Big Ben, calls him up to the office.
I'm selling the store to the Japs.
Now wait a minute, seconds ago over the intercom, he was all,
Made by Americans, for Americans.
and now the first time we see him, his immediate words are,
I'm selling the store to the Japs.
That's hilarious. So little Ben is understandably upset at his father, who apparently has the Cotton Hill syndrome.
Is there a lesson to be learned from all of this?
A lesson?
All this was about trying to frame me?
Oh, you won't cry for it.
How about don't trust anyone?
Not even your own father?
Especially your own father.
Lopez, take his clothes. Stinky, throw him over the fence.
You know your problem? You're too nice. I expect a little backstabbing from you.
41 years old and I didn't see it coming.
Junior, meanwhile, on his birthday of all days, is scrubbing some disgusting dishes, which is quickly followed by your typical gags of the time, which are okay. Nothing bad, nothing great. On the side of his day job, little Ben is like the best coach ever for his neighborhood baseball team.
What the hey, we'll have ice cream anyway. All right? Go take the field. I'm proud of you.
And the joy and sadness yet again are spread all around as another soon-to-be dad and also coach of the opposing team comes running up to share his good news. And the news only gets better. As the nuns argue loudly with the psychologist, Mr. Peabody, brilliantly portrayed by Gilbert Gottfried, obviously, Junior's manipulating everyone again before his eyes in an attempt to get thrown out, actually, not kept in, and he succeeds.
What's so funny?
Who are you, stupid dick?
7-year-old me was like,
Maybe what
maybe
the child
the
is
child-
trying...
Junior's hilarious in this movie.
Maybe if I shrug my shoulders and move around my hands like this, maybe people will think I know what I'm talking about.
You think he's really talking about Mr. Peabody or Gilbert Gottfried? I like Gilbert Gottfried. So little Ben and his wife continue discussing their polar opposite ideas on what makes up a central family as they witness another family across the street celebrating a birthday party.
All those mothers had to make do with what nature gave them, but you and I, we get to pick out our kid.
There's only one way a woman like this can be sold on the idea.
It'll be like shopping.
Shopping?
Uh-huh.
I appreciate how funny she played the role, but her character itself is detestable. Back in school, the children are writing letters to their pen pals, most of which are wholesome, of course, but oh no, not little Junior.
Dear Bow multi-killer. How's prison?
His letter arrives in prison to Kramer, who's convinced the writer is some mastermind criminal. And Mr. Peabody is now meeting with Little Ben and Flo, and you know where it's going. Meeting their new son for the first time, Little Ben is utterly thrilled.
Hi, my name's Junior. My favorite color is blue. What's yours?
Blue. My favorite color's blue, too. Can you believe he's perfect? He's wonderful. Come here.
But not as thrilled as the orphanage was to get rid of him. When Junior arrives at his new home,
Mr. Peabody told us how terrific you are. He said that you were voted most popular orphan 2 years in a row.
That was smart of him.
the movie just has great jokes in it like this. And being shown around the house, he arrives at his bedroom, which, for those of you suffering from
Colorophobia,
you've been warned.
Oh my god, they're retarded.
A Big Ben arrives, expecting a big surprise, and he gets one all right.
Are you insane?
I would like to proudly present the newest member of the Healy family, Junior.
Now, Junior flings the cat on him, resulting in an ambulance being called as the whole neighborhood comes to watch. Little Ben continues to take up for Junior, only believing the best in him as Kramer, being analyzed by a psychologist, uses the opportunity to make his escape from prison.
There's a few bricks missing from his building.
Now, later that night, Junior is caught rummaging through some of the drawers in the house, but he barely has to worm his way out of the situation as Little Ben and Junior are both perturbed by what they find. And all you can do is hope that he's getting through to him, and when we wake the next morning, Little Ben is packing up the car for a camping trip he's decided to surprise Junior with. Flo, of course, is going to stay behind and probably spend money. Now, a friend of the wife drops by, and seeking a moment to finally flaunt her new son, Junior is introduced to her and her daughter, who's pretty blunt with her observations.
He's so big. Yesterday they didn't even have a kid, and now they have a 7-year-old. That's gross.
Now, her mother forces her to invite him to her upcoming birthday party anyway before leaving, and off to the mall the wife goes as Junior and Dad leave for their trip. Now, Junior complains a lot. Boy, I can relate to that. I kinda hate the outdoors.
the fun sucks.
I want to go home and watch TV.
TV? What's TV compared to the
666 channels of heart-pounding, skull-blasting entertainment.
And around the campfire the kids gather as Little Ben and another dad have a kind of funny moment. Junior, utterly bored by the group's antics, suggests a charming idea.
What do we do now? Let's tell ghost stories. Let's do marshmallows. Let's light a forest fire. Let's give him the silent treatment. Yeah, just ignore him. Ignore this.
Pissed out the fire. This was the level of comedy they were putting kids in its day, you know, not fucking Spy Kids and all. In fairness, I've never even seen Spy Kids. I'm just saying it probably is a No Problem Child. As if that wasn't enough retaliation, he, in the name of comedy, attempts to have the group mauled to death with a bear he lures to the campsite. We get some pretty good slapstick here as Little Ben mistakes the actual bear for his buddy in the bear costume.
Roy?
Now the actual bear escapes, and in comes Roy, further scarring the kids for life, and leads to the inevitable. Now, Little Ben is beginning to come to terms with Junior's behavior as the signs begin to pile up, and things reach the culmination at the birthday party when Junior comes in dressed as the devil. Confronted by all the little brats, they tease him.
It's my party, and I get to say who could watch my magic show and who can't.
Oh my god, this made me so mad as a kid, let me tell you why. I loved magic. I made a whole damn video about this once. And I still distinctly remember this incident from 4th grade. I did something, who knows what. And I didn't run around causing a bunch of trouble for my parents. I was a pretty good kid. I got in trouble for something or another, and I wasn't allowed to attend this magic show in the cafeteria. I've never forgotten that. Damn it, Junior, I understand. I didn't even get to look through the doors. Now, Little Ben comes in offering him even more understanding and really making that attempt to connect with his new son. Can't sing the praises of John Ritter enough.
If I were to give you something, would you promise to take very good care of it? My grandfather gave this to me just before he died.
What is it?
It's a prune.
Hey, before you laugh, it's better than
5 long years he wore this watch. Up his ass.
I don't know about better, but it's both funny. Now, seeking revenge for not being allowed to attend the magic show,
I had some magic of my own.
We get a montage of Junior wreaking pure havoc on the attendees. It's complete madness as he cuts the banner, pops the balloons, waters the bedroom, ruins the party games, cuts the little girl's hair off, sabotages the piñata, puts a toad in the punch, replaces the candles with fireworks. Do you think that's enough?
You would cry too if it happened to you.
That's impressive. Forced to punish Junior for his bad behavior, the manipulation games continue as Little Ben continues himself to show extreme love and appreciation that he even has a son. And instead of spanking him, he only takes his allowance away.
The whole buck?
Now Junior is utterly perplexed at the situation.
What is this guy? Nice or something?
And the next morning, Kramer is at a gas station when he has to sneak away as a couple of officers roll up unexpectedly. Why do they always peel out so loudly, as if they want to grab attention? Back on the ball field, Junior is up for bat and getting teased by the catcher.
Who are you, sweetie pie? You were on the team last time we beat you.
The guy I'm staying with is the coach.
Oh, you mean that big dork who buys everyone ice cream?
Yeah, some of his goodness is starting to come through at this point.
He is not a dork!
But some of his clumsiness too. And even after all of this, still does Little Ben try to support his son no matter what.
Whatever you do, hold on to the bat.
Now, as the kids continue to tease him, their coach just stares on him, kind of chuckling to himself about the situation. And it reminds me of Ed O'Neill in Little Giants.
I'd like to thank you.
God, wait till I get my hands on that movie.
I'll show you intimidation.
Now, taking the words quite literally, Junior holds on to the bat all right. Carrying it with him as he runs the bases, he bashes a couple of kids with it and has the whole team on the run as he slides into home with that classic 90s finish. Utterly defeated, Little Ben takes him to the church to see a priest where they run into the kid from earlier whom he sold the canteen to.
My dad was really proud.
Blow it out your ass.
Now, Junior escapes and ends up hiding in one of the confessional booths, which Little Ben ends up in front of course, but at least it leads to a wonderfully desperate and well-acted scene.
Everybody hates him. Well, everybody except me, and I've had it with him myself. Oh, God.
Storming into Peabody's office, the two are furious that he pulled one over on them until Little Ben learns that Junior has been returned already 30 times.
My God, this is a human being we're talking about.
The movie continues bringing these great scenes with Little Ben preaching a good message even today. Now, recognizing the situation as such, Little Ben dramatically decides to keep Junior, but near immediately questions the decision, I'd imagine, as Junior takes him on a joyride right into Big Ben's store. You see how great movies were back then? So much went into a practical effects budget for simple, well not simple, but scenes just like this that lasted, what, 15 or 20 seconds and completely destroyed a whole bunch of shit? For children's entertainment? Now, back at home with a crooked spine, Little Ben gets a message from the bank that his father has cleaned out his bank account to pay for the damages, and he about loses his shit. On the verge of killing him, Junior is ironically saved by Kramer, who rolls up outside of the house seeking this big mastermind criminal who's been writing to him from prison. Interrupted by Flo and Ben, Junior gives him a tour of the house. He stays for dinner, and a bunch of comical scenes follow, with Little Ben still unable to process everything, just kind of sitting at the table defeated. Kramer and Flo... God, what a bitch. The next morning, he's finally snapped out of his fog when he finds a ransom note painted on the wall and puts two and two together. Now, on the road, Junior and Kramer are bonding.
I thought you liked me.
Hey, I don't like no one.
And Little Ben is visibly upset.
Goodbye, Junior. Goodbye, Flo. Oh, I am so sad to see you go. $100,000? Ha!
He continues thrashing the already torn apart room and only stops when he discovers something that makes his stomach drop and question everything he just did and said.
He liked me.
5 minutes to air for his live television performance, Big Ben absolutely refuses to loan Little Ben a dime in ransom money when he busts in to deliver the news that Flo and Junior have been kidnapped.
Okay, then I quit as your son.
That was a criminally underrated delivery of an hilarious line. Furious as his dad is focused entirely on his campaign instead of family, he sabotages the entire thing with the flick of a switch.
I'd sell my soul to the Japanese if they'd make me an offer.
Rushing back home, Little Ben lies to Kramer about having the ransom money, steals the neighbor's car, and his hat.
Yeah, what do you think you're doing? Hey!
And heads off to meet him at the circus where he's holding Junior hostage. There is a great joke right here.
Hey, Martin, let's go see the bearded lady.
No. See too many of them in prison.
Little Ben meets them where he agreed and throws his empty bag to Kramer in exchange for Junior, but he negs on the deal and makes Junior an offer.
We'll go
crime spree. We'll terrorize the whole state.
No.
Let's have some kicks.
Yeah, kicks. Good idea.
Yeah, I knew it. Now, Junior escapes and into the center ring he goes, and then up one of the trapeze ladders with Kramer right on his heels. Honestly, it's just a bunch of slapstick, but it's still kind of funny. Definitely 90s. Junior slides right into Little Ben's arms. Not content on just saving his son, the chase is on, with Junior driving the car and Little Ben firing off shotgun blasts. An over-the-top chase scene ensues where Flo gets what she deserves, I'd say.
Now what the hell's going on? What's that smell?
Flo always said she wanted to travel.
Only John Ritter could have delivered that line and not made it sound corny. Kramer is led away in cuffs but begins to struggle with one of the officers. Stealing his gun, we get a surprisingly dramatic moment. And then immediately right back into the silliness, which honestly just does this movie a favor. We do end on a positive note as Junior throws away his bow tie, signifying his changing ways, and narrates his final thoughts to us.
Why do parents love any kid? Maybe it's one of those answers we'll never know, like, whatever happened to Mrs. Healy?
Now, what did happen to Miss Healy?
Oh my God!